Hi guys, I'm Grant Keller on behalf of Quake LED. Today we're in our workshop with the brand new Jeep Gladiator behind us. We're going to do a little bit of an install video. We're all aware the new JT and JL Jeeps have this big bulky fender light that functions as your daytime running light and turn signal. Well, we don't really like the way that they look, and so we came out with the retrofit kit. Whether you have the halogen or LED model of the JT or JL, ours is going to just drop right in place and be plug and play. It's going to give you your sequential turn signal and then your white daytime running light as well. It maintains your amber side marker, so that way it's DOT SE compliant and will pass inspection. The nice thing about it is going to come black powder coated out of the box, which gives it a real clean and aggressive look, but you can color match it to match the paint on your vehicle as well. Alright guys, so installing Quake LED's retrofit kits is pretty straightforward, but we will need a few tools. 10mm socket in the driver for it, a Torx wrench in the T30 size, some form of a pry tool. I'm using a flathead screwdriver as well as a set of needle nose pliers. And it is pretty simple, but this is the wrench of frustration, so if you do get frustrated, you throw this. Guys, so to get started replacing the fender lights with the Quake LED retrofit kit, we're going to remove these three 10mm bolts up on the inner fender well. We're going to remove 5 plastic clips, a larger one down here at the front of the grille, 4 more along the side, and that's going to allow us to peel that inner fender liner back so that we can actually access the light itself. Alright guys, so now that we have the inner fender liner removed and peeled back for the most part, we're going to unplug the factory running light. You're going to pull back on this red pin and you're going to push on the little black tab and it's going to pop right out of there. Once we have done that, there are 2 more bolts that we're going to remove.
Alright, so there might be a couple of things that have been left out in this video. So we are back here with the fender, with the light, just to give you a little bit better of an angle of what actually you have to do to get the factory light out, and a few tips to help get ours in. So we're just essentially going to start going through, and we have a little bit better of a view of the 4 plastic tabs that we're going to have to take out, and then the 3 8mm bolts. So we're going to back those out real quick, which you have already seen this part. And then we're going to take out this inner fender liner. All right guys, so once the inner fender is peeled back, this is where things got a little precarious. So we'll remove these 2 10mm bolts up here, down here and up here so that we can pull back the plastic piece. This is the same as the video, obviously just a different angle. So this is where I pulled it back to remove this plastic piece so that we can reveal the light. Now the one thing that's different that I never mentioned in the video, and that is going to help you tremendously to getting the factory light out, is that it really does make a difference if you take this black support bracket and move it out of the way. So we're going to remove the 10mm bolt here and then the Torx bolts that hold the actual factory Mopar light in. So this has the retrofit kit light in it, so it might look a little different, but essentially we're just going to remove all the bolts on the back of this so that we can freely get to this plastic support bracket. So you'll notice that this 10mm bolt that's in this U cutout is actually what holds it to the body support on the Jeep itself, and same with this one here. So after you remove those 2 screws and then this one here, you should be able to rotate this plastic piece out of the way to access this Mopar light. So you can see I've added all of this empty space. You might have to possibly remove this rivet in order to get the plastic piece fully out to remove the light. You can go ahead and either just cut the rivet on the back or you can drill it out. It's really up to you, but just however you can get this plastic piece out of the way so that you can actually access that factory light. You can actually rotate it a pretty good amount, and so that way you have full access to the factory light. So our retrofit is held in with the other torque screws here. So we're gonna go ahead and take those out. And you'll notice that these two screws here are going to be the exact same way that that factory light is held in. So you'll notice our retrofit is starting to fall out of place as I'm removing this screw, which is okay. So I'm gonna grab the factory light just so that way you can see it. So this would normally be in here with the two screws, and then that one middle one here. So you can see how that would be in. When you remove, there's a screw right here. This will allow your amber side marker to disconnect off of the light itself. So you'll notice this screw, and so when you remove all the screws back here, you'll be able to plop that plastic amber marker out, so that way you're just pulling the light through the gap itself. Once again, you can see this strip in here. This is where the factory Mopar light sits with that 3M adhesive. It is really strong, so you're really gonna have to rip and give yourself some space, which is why we've moved this plastic bracket out to the side, which this is not mentioned in the video. Other than that, everything in the video is pretty accurate. So, like I said, just peel that back, move this plastic bracket out of the way. That way you have full access to the inner fender light that you need to remove. All right guys, so just to recap, once again, never mention it in the video, but just definitely get this support bracket out of the way. You can rotate it up on this plastic rivet itself, or you can remove the plastic rivet, up to you. Once you do that, you have full access to the inner Mopar light. Makes it much easier for it to come out. The last tip I do mention in the video, to put the light in through the front. Only if you're incompetent should you do that. I highly recommend putting the light in from the back. This is all, you know, when we first released these, we didn't really know, and it took trial and error. But now that we've done this quite a few times, it definitely comes in and fits much better from the back. So you can see I literally just kind of, with one twist, put that side piece through, and then it lines up to the factory mounting tabs right here. So we can go ahead and put these bolts back in just so you can see the way that'll look. All right guys, so I've rotated this plastic support bracket down into piece. We've put the light in the actual fender itself using these 3 Torx bits here. So the plastic bracket essentially at this point is just held on with the aluminum, with the plastic rivet on the fender and the 1 Torx bit on the back of the light itself. At this point, you will pull the fender away from the Jeep to fold back this plastic bracket. The inner fender liner will go over it, and then you'll remove all the hardware that you took out. So you can see the spot for the 10mm bolts right here going over the actual inner fender itself, your spot for the 4 plastic clips right here, and then the 2 10mm bolts that actually hold the fender to the body of the Jeep itself. All right guys, we're gonna send you back to the video. I think that is pretty much all that we messed up. So leave a comment if this is too complicated or anything, we can reshoot the video, but I think you guys are smart enough to figure it out for yourselves.
As you can see, we have everything installed and all buttoned up, working perfectly with that sequential turn signal. It was a super easy job, took only about, an hour to do both sides. Luckily we didn't have to use the frustration wrench, so I hope that if you follow along, you won't either. The difference, honestly, it's so aesthetically pleasing just looking at how much slimmer they are than those big bulky lights that come with the Jeep from the factory. And then even if you do have the LED package, just having that sequential daytime running light and that slimmer light, I mean, it's definitely a lot better looking of a product. Right now, you can get these for retail. They're $349.98. And definitely go to quakeled.com and check out all of our other product options. So many things Jeep related, but we do a whole lot more than that, so go check us out.